Htp family, you're tuning into the Pro-Black Perspective on KWAZ Radio, part of a broader network, of course, as you know. And today we're going to explore a topic that a lot of you might not really have considered, which is, are black radicals just lazy, entitled, white nationalists? You know? So this is going to be a review of black radical demands, and as you can see, there's the Black Radical Congress here, and its freedom agenda. I haven't really looked up the Black Radical Congress because, you know, I don't care. I saw it in the paper recently, and I said to myself, yeah, let me. I looked at a few of these. Well, I looked at one of them maybe, and I said to myself, yeah, this is something to explore. So let's go right into it. And if you're in the chat, just let me know. You know, let me know that you're in the chat. And but before that, let's just get started. But while we waiting for that, let's get started. So this is the Black Radical Congress Freedom Agenda, right? And so the first one is this: 1, we will fight for the human rights of black people and all people. Okay? Says we will struggle for a society. And again, this is only 4 pages, so it's going to be, hopefully this is a little quick. We will struggle for a society and world in which every individual enjoys full human rights, full protection of the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, and in the United States, equal protection of the Constitution and of all the laws. We seek a society in which every individual, regardless of color, nationality, national origin, ethnicity, religion, sex, sexual orientation, age, family structure, or mental or physical capability, is free to experience life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We affirm that all people are entitled to. So here's, all right. So just starting off, you already know this is clearly like an American thing, right? Equal protection of the Constitution. And again, this is why I say this is just white nationalists. You can already tell, because what is the United States but a white nation, right? You want equal protection from the Constitution of the United States, but again, this is not your nation, right? And then, you know, I don't know why they even have sexual orientation here, but, you know, we can keep going. We seek a society, and then this life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is, if I recall correctly, a direct quote from some rapist, Thomas Jefferson, right? So again, and it's like, again, like I say, entitled. So it says, we affirm that all, and look at that, I said it, look at this right here. I tell you, you can't see me pointing, but I said, are these people entitled, you know, just entitled, lazy, white nationalists? And you already see, we affirm that all people are entitled to. Now, what makes you entitled to a safe and secure home? You understand? Like, what makes you entitled to a safe and secure home? Not to say that I don't understand the desire to have a safe and secure home. But what makes you entitled to have a safe and secure home? What makes you entitled to have employment at a living wage that is compensation for the full value of their labor, right? What makes you entitled to these things? What makes you entitled to free quality health care? Free, for one, including full reproductive freedom with the right to choose when or whether to bear children, and free quality child care, right? Free. And then another one, D, free quality public education, right? Again, it's like you want this nation to serve you in your interest, right? You want this nation, you want a white nation to give you secure homes, to give you, it's a handout. It's just handout, right? Like, what makes you entitled to, like, well, all right, here's what I'm saying, like this, okay? I go to China, okay? Let's say I go to China, right? What makes me entitled to employment at a living wage? Or let's even use another nation. I go to India, right? What makes me entitled to employment at a living wage that is compensatory to my full value of their labor, of my labor? Or what makes me entitled when I go to Dubai, I think, I can't remember the name of it. Dubai. When I go to Dubai to get free quality health care. And I'm not saying that I don't think that quality health care is a good thing. I'm not saying that I want to pay necessarily, right? But I understand that if me going around demanding, right, that the people in Dubai give me free quality health care, and give me free quality child care, give me free public education, right? That's on them. You know, it reminds me of this quote that I guess it's me quoting myself right now. But I said, we the only people who are protected by the goodwill of our enemies. And this is the same thing right here. We are demanding goodwill from our enemies. This is why I say this is lazy and entitled, because the reality is this, that you should be providing your own safety and security for your own home. Your own homes and your own safety and security for your own homes. You should be providing your own employment at the wages that you want set for yourself. You shouldn't be asking anybody to give you good wages. You should be giving yourself good wages. You should have your own quality health care based off of your own innovations, your own medical innovations. You should have quality public education based off of, or quality education based off of your own mechanisms, and if you choose to make it free, that's on you. But for you to demand and say, oh, this is what I'm entitled to, right? This is partly why a lot of people don't care for what you're doing, because the thing is this, that this is something that you should be doing in your own nations, in your own countries. You see, when a white man tells you go back to Africa, he's giving you some insight. He's doing you a favor. He's saying, look, you want an education system that caters to you and your intellectual development? Go to Africa. You want a healthcare system that caters to you and your development? Go to Africa. You want some employment that fits your own well-being? Go to Africa. If you want to feel safe and secure in your home, go to Africa. And you saying, why are you calling me? Why are you saying I want to feel safe and secure right next to you? I want to have a public education right next to you. And I want it to be free. I don't want to pay for it. None of these is you paying. It's you getting paid and not even paying for basic things, for childcare, healthcare, education. You don't even want to pay for those. You want it to be quality, and you want it to be free, and then you want to get paid the compensation of your full value of your labor, on top of having all this other stuff for free. Come on. We oppose the human. This is why I say it's lazy and entitled, because lazy in the sense of you should be doing this for your damn self, and entitled in the sense of ain't nobody supposed to be giving you none of this stuff. And I say white nationalists because you're demanding this of another people's nation. You know what I mean? Anyhow, look, if I were your ancestors, I'd be looking down. I'd be like, whoa, hold on. You know? Like, oh yeah, that was shoot. You know? If I was your descendant, I'd be looking like, oh yeah. You know? That's what I'm doing right now, matter of fact. And actually, somebody, if y'all want, you can look up. Peace, family. Bit of Medicine's here. Maroon X is here. You already know. But somebody can look up this Black Radical Congress. I don't even know who they are. I should have looked them up. I was thinking about it, but what it is. We oppose the Human Genome Project in its current form and with its current leadership, and we oppose all socio-biological or genetic experiments that are spurred by and help perpetuate scientific racism. So I'm not familiar with the Human Genome Project. I feel like that might be when they were collecting DNA samples. They say we oppose these things. Okay, like this is the thing where I keep emphasizing power. I emphasize power because what power means, and you when you read the literature, you kind of get a bigger, broader picture, right? But power is saying, look, I don't give a shoot. If I want to collect the DNA of individuals, I'm going to go and collect the DNA of individuals because I'm looking to do some science. Whatever it is that you're looking to do, whatever it is that you oppose me doing, right? I don't care. It's like these white boys, they want to roll out this vaccine. They don't care if you don't want to take it. They don't care if you don't want to take it. Right? They don't care if you don't want to take it. They say, look, we're going to make some of these people take it regardless. Because we're looking to continue our economy. This is our country, not yours. That's what they're saying. So they don't care if you're like, you guys just experiment on us. They're like, yeah, we did. We wanted to figure out how syphilis develops in black people. Okay, that's what we wanted to figure out. We wanted to figure out how syphilis developed in black people. We knew, and if y'all don't know the Tuskegee Experiment, I'll break it down to you. Some black folk had syphilis. So then these white folks said, hey, you know what? We're going to treat you for this syphilis, right? Because they figured that these black folk were never going to get treated. And instead of treating them, they just observed them and observed how syphilis took them. but they knew that these people were never going to be treated because they didn't have no quality health care. They weren't going to get no quality health care. Okay? Now you're like, hey, they should have given them quality health care. And why you were like, why? We want to figure out something. And you are the bodies that you are disposable bodies that we are going to use to figure that out. That's it. And I mean, I'm not saying that, you're like, I don't really, that's the reason why I don't want to do the vaccine. Okay, try not to. That's all I'm going to say. Try not to. If you could get away with not doing it, then go ahead. Don't do it. And if I don't personally think, because again, like with the syphilis experiment, they didn't give these people syphilis. These people had syphilis and they weren't going to get rid of it. It's like they're not going to give you COVID. They're just going, they just figure, hey, look, you know what, whether the person got COVID or not, we're just going to give them a placebo and then tell them that we're giving them treatment. And we're not going to. Because we don't have to. Because we got power. You don't. And you're in my country and I'm not in your country. When I'm in your country, then you can tell me what I should do. But until then, that's it. That's why I say you got to go back to power. This is lazy, entitled stuff. Like I told you, we will fight for a society and world in which every individual and all social groups can live secure, dignified lives. And again, there's nothing dignified about begging for health care, begging for child care, and begging for education. There's nothing dignified about that. Hey, watch your hand. There's nothing dignified about that. So let's see. Bit of medicine. The Human Genome Program was to piece together the base pairs that make up human DNA. The idea behind it was personalized medicine. Yeah. And they're like, hey, we don't agree with that. And it's like, okay, nobody cares if you don't agree with that. Like, nobody cares if you do not agree with them trying to do something that they feel that they want to do. You know what I mean? You on their bus, okay? You on their bus. They're in the driver's seat, right? Nobody cares if you a backseat driver. A lot of us are backseat drivers. We're like, I don't think that you should even give out this virus. Like, you shouldn't even give out this vaccine. Or I don't think you should do this mask mandate. They don't care. You in the back seat. You only talking to the other passengers. You know what I mean? I'm telling you that's white nationalism. I'm telling you, go for black nationalism, go for African nationalism, and be in the driver's seat on the continent. You understand? Or be in the sidecar. I mean, not the sidecar. What's it, the passenger? No, not the passenger seat. The seat right next to the driver. Y'all can tell I will drive, right? Well, the seat right next to the driver. Where you're like, hey, you know what? Make a left turn. You know what I mean? Like you don't gotta necessarily be the driver. Because you might not be the driver, especially if you were from the diaspora. You might not be the driver, but you could influence the driving. You understand? In America, you ain't. They want to do a human genome project because they're trying to piece together the DNA. You understand? They want to piece together the base pairs that make up human DNA. And if I'm fervently opposed to it. Nobody cares. Like we still don't even know who the Black Radical Congress is. Nobody cares. Well, I'm fervently opposed. Come on. Nobody cares. Let's see, Bit of Medicine is in the chat room. He says, if black folk were doing it, it would be the same reason, or at least it should be. Exactly. If we were doing it, we would be the same way. If we had some damn sense, right? We would be on the forefront. We would be pioneering medical advances. We'd be pioneering technological advances. In fact, some of the people in America, some of the black people in America, or pioneers in certain fields, like first open heart surgery, first this, first that, first this. They do those kind of stuff. You understand? And that's what they're supposed to be. But then of course all this is going to this white boy. It's like when it came to video games. A black man made the first video game cartridge. But of course, because he's in a white nation, it's Sega Genesis, it's Japan, that got all the credit for like Nintendo and stuff. It's America that got all the credit for video games. It's a black man. It don't matter if you smart in another man's nation, because you really ain't that damn smart if you're in another man's nation. Like, no disrespect, but if you in another person's nation, then the reality is that you're not gonna have the freedom that you want to be that quote unquote live secure, dignified lives. Like I know the limitations of being in this country. I was just talking to the sister yesterday on Discord. You know, I know the limitations of being in this country. I know that I'm not going to be part of the leadership. You understand? I know that if the resources go towards the Human Genome Project and I object to the Human Genome Project, it don't mean nothing. If I go and type on Twitter, oh, I don't like masks, or I like masks, or it don't matter what my opinion on masks are, because Biden's not listening to me. You understand? And he's not going to listen to me. I've been in America for how long? I know this dude's not going to listen to me. Unless I start kowtowing and whatever. Now, and I'm not going to kowtow to no white boy. But if I go to Africa, yeah, I'll kowtow to the leadership. And they'll be like, yeah, Oni, you're a dignified person. Like here's the thing that y'all got to catch. Because, Bitter Medicine interviewed this brother, Obadele Kambon. Obadele Kambon was on national TV in Ghana. He's a regular brother. Okay, a regular brother. I think he's from America, right? A regular brother from America. He's not, and he's talking the same way he talked to Koku on national TV in Ghana. Okay, he's not gonna talk that way in America. Now his father did. His father talked that way, and I don't know. I think his father had to, it was just like wild. You know what I mean? But it was just wild. It was just like everybody, just like some people left the room, some people blah blah. But that's the difference. You understand? That's the difference. The difference is that he's in Africa and he's talking like an African. When you in America, you gotta talk to like a European, and you know this. You understand? It's like the NFAC leader. He's talking all this stuff. Yeah, man, we're gonna blah blah. We're gonna show up blah blah. They rest his ass. Easy. You understand? So it's like I know the limitations of being in a white man's country. I know I'm going to be on the back seat. I know I'm not just in the back seat. I'm going to be in the trunk. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Having conversations in the trunk. But I know that at least in Africa, I could be in the back seat. I could be on the passenger seat. I could be right next to the driver. I could be the driver potentially. I know this. And depending on where I go, I know I could be the driver. But then you here in the West, and you doing all this stuff. You got the open heart surgery, and who you doing all them surgeries for? Why you doing it for these white boys? You doing it for these white girls? You doing it for these white families, for the rich white families? You extending their life. Come on. Number 2, we will fight for political democracy. Now, y'all already know my opinion on the word democracy, but that's not even that important, right? Kambon from Brooklyn, yeah. We're Brooklyn. All right, let me stop. All right, we will fight for political democracy. And that's what I'm saying. 2 brothers from Brooklyn, right? Kambon from Brooklyn, I'm from Brooklyn, right? 2 brothers from Brooklyn, right? And even Koku, as far as I know, might be in Brooklyn. I don't know. But the point being that, we're not on TV and he's on TV. And what's the difference? But location. You understand? What's the difference about location? Not to say that Kambon don't apply himself, because he apply himself well, and I know he do. I'm not trying to knock that, but he also got this school, he got this stuff, he get land from this, he knows the chief, he knows that, so on and so forth. And then you think I know my politician? You think I know my politician personally? You understand? If I know my politician personally, you already know that means I'm cooning or something. You know what I'm saying? That already means that. But anyway, look here. Look, I think this is one I was like entitled lazy. We will fight for political democracy. We will struggle to expand political democracy to ensure that people's greater participation in decision making. The people's greater participation in decision making. In the U.S., we will work to replace the current 2-party system, winner-take-all electoral system, with a more democratic multi-party system based on proportional representation. And we will fight to abolish all registration procedures that restrict the number of eligible voters. We oppose private financing of electoral campaigns, especially corporate contributions. We will work to replace the present corrupt system with public financing. You see what I'm saying now? Now look here. All right. This is the United States Constitution you trying to mess with. This is what they're trying to mess with. The white man sets about, takes over this land from the Amerindian. Okay? He takes over the land from the Amerindian. Then he takes over the land from the British, right? And he fights a tough fight against the Amerindians, kills them off. He fights a tough fight to steal our ancestors all the way from Africa, right? And have us, have them work to the death, more or less. But he maintains that system. Then he fights these British, right? And they whatever. And then he writes up a constitution that has a two-party, winner-take-all electoral system, okay? And then you come along, right? Ain't really part of none of those fights. You part of it, but like you more like cannon fodder or something, right? You weren't really what it was. And you saying, hey, I think that your system should be different and have bigger representation for me, and I should be able to vote more. And I don't like that you have private financing. I think your system could be better. And I want to have greater participation in your decision making. And he's like, who the fuck are you? Like, who are you? Like where were you when the white man's like, where were you when I was killing these American Indians? Where were you when I was fighting these British? Where were you and you might be like, hey, or where were you when I was stealing your ancestors from from Africa? And you might be like, well, I was right there with you. Yeah, he's like, yeah, but that was some dumb shit. You had no business being right next to me. You know what I'm saying? and it's like, you want to be rewarded for the dumb loyalty you had to this dude, right? But it's like he's like, I'm not rewarding you, stupid. My whole objective is to be the decision makers of my own community. That's what self-determination is. That's what you should be fighting for on your own continent. And then you talking about private, like if you think private financing is a bad idea, why you want to stop this white boy from having it? Especially corporate contributions. If you think it's a bad idea, why you want to stop this white boy from having it? One of the brothers on the Discord, like I said, y'all need to join the Discord. One of these brothers on the Discord came to me and said, look, man, if your enemy's making a mistake, he quoted Napoleon. Napoleon says, if your enemy makes a mistake, you don't interrupt him. So if you think private financing of electoral campaigns is a mistake, right? Why are you interrupting him? If you think a two-party system is a mistake, why are you interrupting him? Except for the fact that you feel like you are entitled to be a part of his nation that he fought for. And you might be like, well, I built the nation. No, you didn't. The nation was built on you. Big difference. You understand? Because he wrote the Constitution for him. If you wrote the Constitution for him, something wrong with you. And you got no reason to think that you have sanity to even push forward something that I personally wouldn't want you a part of the decision making process if all you ever do is give this white boy everything. You understand? So yeah, for one thing, you want to replace the current. No, it's not the current. You see, that's why I say sometimes when y'all use the word the, you got to put an IR at the end. Not for interracial, although it means the same thing, but for their current two-party system. So you got to see this. In the U.S., we will work to replace their current two-party system. Why would they not? They all be like, why are they always trying to suppress us? Because you trying to destroy their political system for no other reason but the fact that you too lazy to make your own. You too entitled to make your own. You want to have greater decision making in another man's nation. Like I said, you gotta look at the fact that you are a foreigner in this land. Get it through your head. You are a foreigner in this land. If I go to Dubai, like you gotta think, if you went to another nation, if you're a foreigner in another nation, right? Because even like I said, even if I go to Africa, I know I'm gonna be a foreigner, right? So I'm not saying that I'm not necessarily going to work to do X, Y, Z, but I understand if there's opposition, and I understand how to word it, and I understand that I would prefer if the people themselves wanted that. You understand? I'm not going to go to Africa and say what I want. Oh, I want you guys to have this system. I want you to. I'm not going to go. I want you to have a democratic, multi-party system. No, I'm going to point out to our people on the continent. Hey, this is blah 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 blah, and this blah blah, and you work with them, work together, right? And if they say, you know what, we wouldn't mind if foreigners like you could vote, I'd be like, okay, sure, I don't mind. They're like, oh, you want to give you some citizenship? I'm like, hey, look, that's fine by me. You understand? Run that by me. You know what I mean? But I'm not going, well, the current system that you have should be this, so on and so forth, and that's what I think. No. you know, and then here's the comparison between Africa and America. You know, America is like 300 years old or something like that. Some number like that, right? Or 200 years, whatever. I can't remember, like 1792 or something like that, right? And then in African countries they might be like 60 years old. Some of them 10 years old. You know what I mean? And then you there, well, I want to change everything. I want to replace your system with a system that better suits me. Because if, you know, and I don't want you to have private financing. Like, come on, man. Like where you even get these ideas from? That's why I don't understand. Like, why do you feel so entitled? You know? But let's keep going. We will fight to advance beyond capitalism, which has demonstrated its structural incapacity to address basic human needs worldwide, and particularly the needs of black people. Right? Now again, I can't tell if they're still talking about America here, but it stands without reason that America is not interested in the needs of black people. In any sort of that's a priority sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's not their biggest priority to engage the needs of black people. You know, it's just like when we were on plantations. You know, they might have kept you alive, but it not for any, you know, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, actually, none of those things. But let's keep going. Guided by our belief that people should come before profits, right? And again, who says that? Like, where do you get these ideas from? These are just verbiage. You know, the other day I'm doing this, like I told you, I was doing some market trading, right? And you know, you can get a lot of money. You get a lot of money just trading property. Okay, just trading property back and forth, right? And the thing is this, that yeah, you know, I'm not saying that I would do that at the expense of other people, but I entirely understand why a white person would not put the life of every damn black person above his money. You understand? Because since when do white people care about black people? You know what I mean? Like, at what point in human history do you think that white people cared about black people? You know, and that they would set aside their profits for black people. Like, what point in human history, like, when did that happen? Like, between the enslavement of African people and now, when did it happen? That's my question. If it never happened between the enslavement of African people and now, then why are you saying that's what we believe? We are guided by our belief. That's fine by you. But like, for instance, me, I know for a fact that, you know, I ain't really worried about white boys' lives like that. You know? I'm not saying that I'm guided by profit though, but I'm just not really that worried about white folk lives. You know what I mean? I'm really not. So that's just like me, like as an African. So I'm just thinking how a European might be thinking. You know, like and particularly like when you realize the variety of life involved. Like for instance, y'all saw that video of these dudes doing like there's a quarantine going on in America, right? And these people are like in a club. I think it's like Gucci Mane in a club, so on and so forth, right? And so like let's say if somebody from that event, that publicized event of black folk just doing a fool, right? Someone from that event gets sick, and they're in a hospital, right? And there's like there's like 5 ventilators, right, that are available. And there's one sick black person, but you know damn well that they're gonna be on the ventilator for like 30 days. And there might be other sick white folk that might be coming. These white people are gonna say, you know what? And you know, and especially if these black folks don't have no insurance or nothing, right? They're probably gonna be like, you know what? We're not gonna put this black person on the ventilator. Now some people might be like, that's a good idea because you know they don't like the ventilators. I don't know. Who cares? Conspiracy theory, y'all do that, right? But the point being that they're gonna look at it like, you know what? Particularly a black person who got sick like that, they're not gonna necessarily put and knowing that there's no profit to it, knowing that there's insurance and this person's gonna default and all that stuff, knowing that, they're probably not saying, yeah, we're gonna put this person on the ventilator. You know? They're probably saying, just F that guy. You understand? Like F him or that lady. You know, but just F them. Like I don't care. I'm not gonna do your life. And then because then let's say you on the ventilator, then some rich white person or like their family or even their family member comes up and they got insurance and all that stuff, and then they can't go on the ventilator because you on the ventilator and you ain't even paying them nothing, right? Why would they want to preserve your life? Why would they put your life over the profits, particularly if you were reckless and all that stuff? And I mean, to white folk, some of you don't have to be reckless. You know what I mean? Like they might treat some black folk decently, right? Particularly, whatever. But then some of them, they're just like, I don't even care. Like a lot of times, like there's a lot of black folk, and you know what I'm talking about. But a lot of black folk that white people don't even care one lick about. And some of you think it's like all black folk, but nah, it's like some black folk they don't care about. And it's like, nah, I mean, you might put your people before profit, but I completely understand why, because even white folk don't even put other white people's lives before profit. It's like I said, one of the lessons I learned was when I was like walking around. For some reason, I was on Wall Street, just walking around Wall Street. I never been there, looking around, sightseeing, and I saw this white boy, rich businessman type, right? And I saw this beggar, this white beggar, with his hand out, and the white man just kind of like walked around him, and it's like if he don't care about this white boy on the streets, right, who could be starving, could not, whatever. If he don't care about giving this white boy even a, and he's rich, and he don't care about helping this white boy, why would he care about helping you? You know what I mean? If all he had to do was dig in his pocket, easiest thing he could do, and then you want him to go about, let me give these black folk quality education and quality health care and quality child care. Like why? Why would he even, at his cost, at his expense, on his dime? Like, remember, if it's free for you, it ain't free for anybody else. The teacher's still getting paid. Curriculum's still getting made. So you saying he should dig into his pocket just because you cute or something? Come on. We will fight to maximize economic democracy and economic justice. So we seek full employment at livable wages. All right? Public control of private sector financial operations, worker control of production decisions, and a guaranteed annual income for the needy. So again, these are things that are at see, like this right here, like this for instance right here. We seek full employment at livable wages. I already told y'all, if y'all remember the passage I read during that discussion on the Blueprint for Black Power and how it's an evolutionary, right? Amos Wilson was saying, it was a decent passage. He said, unemployment, like white people, or let's say white, he quoted white people for saying that white people say that they don't seek full employment. They don't want full employment because full employment, right, means that now workers can unionize and demand even more than livable wages. You understand? They could demand even more than livable wages because everybody has a job. So that means that you can't fire anybody. You know what I mean? Like if everybody got a job, that means you really can't fire anybody, or that firing somebody ain't really a punishment. You know what I mean? Let's say it this way. Let's say it this way. Okay? Let's say let's say I'm paying you $15. No. Let's say I'm paying you $20 an hour, right? I'm paying you $20 an hour to translate my book, right? I'm paying you $20 an hour, and then like I say, translate 3 pages a day, okay? And you translate 1 page, or you translate 0 pages for the week, right? And then I say, okay, get out, you're fired. Do you care if as soon as you walk out, somebody else, basically you could walk out and you could go down to McDonald's and get the same $20 an hour? You understand? Like, do you care if I fire you for not working, if you could just walk out and get the same damn paycheck, flipping burgers, or even not flipping burgers, because again, you could just walk out, or you could just sit down and not work at McDonald's, and then go somewhere else and get the same level of wages, because again, everybody's paying you the same amount, and there's no unemployment. You understand? Now, if on the other hand, I'm paying you, let's say I'm still paying that $20, right? And then you don't work for the week or whatever, and then I say, okay, you're fired, right? And you're like, oh no, now I'm gonna spend months looking for another job. No, I'll do better, Oni. I'll do better. No, please don't fire me. I'll do 6 pages a day. Now, I'm not saying that I want to work you like that, but what I'm saying is that you understand that there's now a repercussion, there's now a consequence. And not just that, but then you also understand that, like, for instance, it could be another way. It's like, I'm like, hey, I'm paying you $20, and that's $20 is a good amount. For those that might not be familiar with America, that's a good amount. Well, I mean, I think it's a good amount. But some people might not. If y'all balling like that. But the thing is this: that if everybody got employment, and then you're like, you know what, we're not gonna work for $20 an hour. This is $30 an hour work, right? Then what am I gonna do? If there's nobody to replace you, because everybody else got a job, right? What am I gonna do but have to give you $30 an hour? Then you say, no, it's $40 an hour. You say it's $50 an hour. You say, you understand? Now, it could be settled with like wage control, if you will, but even that is not going to settle it. But like basically, what I'm saying is that at least what we understand is that the capitalist model is that because you have some people that are unemployed, because you want some people that are unemployed, so that they cannot really negotiate the wages above and beyond what it should be by market standards. So I mean, that's just something that So it's like even when you're saying you want to demand this stuff, it's like, yeah, like what economy is that? Or public control of private sector financial operations. Like this is another one. Private sector financial operations is other people's money. You understand? So you saying that you want public control of other people's money? Would that make even any sense? I put money. If like a bunch of people put money in a bank to invest in a community, and you're saying no, I don't want. So it's like you could just have a public, like you could just have a public bank, like not a public bank, but you know what it's called. I think it's called a trade union, right? You could just have a trade union and do that, but instead of that, you saying that you want to take over the banks and those financial institutions and have public control. I mean, basically, I'm just saying there's a lot of unrealistic rhetoric, nonsensical things that just don't even like. And, we're gonna keep going. Worker control of production decisions, right? Again, doesn't really. Again, like because we were actually talking about that on the Twitter. So if you guys don't know, we were on Twitter. We were talking about Marxism and all that. And this was what is one of the things about what is a proletariat what the dictatorship of the proletariat might look like. And of course, this is not. I mean, I later realized that this is actually just democracy, a democratic control of a productive company. But the reality being that this production decision in the hands of the worker, it's. I mean, I'll come back to that. I was just thinking about something, but I got it's not too complicated, but long story short, it's just an interesting idea. Let's go. Guaranteed annual income for the needy. That's another one. It's like it's just a public expense. It's just a public expense as if the public has an unlimited amount of money. Because again, like I said, when it came to the guaranteed annual income for the needy, it becomes, well, now how are you going to negotiate wages? How are you going to negotiate wages, or how are you going to have repercussions? How are you going to have incentive for workers to actually work? It's like the other day, actually, some people were like, apparently, if you were on unemployment earlier in the COVID, you might have been getting paid more than you were getting paid when you were working. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people were getting paid more than they were getting paid when they were working. And they were just like, what? And of course, it was just kind of like a drain on the economy. But let's keep going. We will fight to, and although I do want to come back to this thing, so if somebody can remind me, because I can't remember what it was that I was going to say about this. Production decisions. There was something about this. Worker decisions on production. Oh yeah, that's what it was. So check this out. So here's the thing about any sort of industry that you might be involved in. Like again, like I said, if you're in a business, right? If you start a business, the expense and the capital, if you're an entrepreneur, the expense and the capital invested, right? Or the penalty for failure falls on you, not the worker. So I remember I was listening to some white capitalist speakers, talking about riches and all that stuff, and they was like they had a word that I never heard, which is they had an entrepreneur, like the word entrepreneur, and then they had an intrapreneur, and they were saying that an intrapreneur is like the entrepreneur, except that he did not, except that the entrepreneur does not invest any money. You know what I mean? So there's no real punishment, but they're trying to advance the community, but they are second to the entrepreneur who actually puts down the money, right? So the idea of worker control of the production decisions doesn't really add up in the sense that the worker doesn't actually invest in a particular business. Well, if we're talking about like real life businesses, now of course you can have a model where the worker does, but on the other hand, I'm saying that on traditional models where, like, let's say if I say, hey, I want to open up let's say me and Koku say, we're like, let's open up a coffee shop, right? And then, I say, look, I'm gonna put down $50,000 to make this coffee shop, right? And Koku's like, cool, I'll just do the paperwork, right? And then the workers, we hire some workers, right? And they're there too. Now you're saying that you want the workers and Koku to all have the same equal say in the decisions of the coffee shop, notwithstanding the fact that if it fails, only I'm going to lose money, and only my credit's going to be ruined. You understand? And so that's another thing that comes with the livable wage and the full value of a person's wages, in the sense of, if the coffee shop doesn't make a profit, I still have to pay the workers, right? But if it doesn't make a profit, right, then I'm not going to have anything to pay for myself. I'm not going to have anything to take home. So again, the worker doesn't really take any risk. The entrepreneur, who Koku will be in this situation, wouldn't take any risk. But I would take all the risk because I'm the entrepreneur. So this is partly why the decisions of the corporation or the business fall onto me, right? Hold on a second, let me tell this kid, hey, go watch it. Yeah, this kid likes doing stuff, so I gotta tell him to watch the thing. All right, we will fight to end racial discrimination. So that was the thing I wanted to say. So he says an interesting series would be you going through the manifesto of black organizations. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what I say. Like, this is the entrepreneur thing, but that's my time that I'm investing. I'm joking. Yeah, no, I feel you. I mean, I don't know any. Y'all name some black organizations I could go through. If they're short enough. Let's go. So we gonna do manifesto time. Manifesto minute. All right. So let's see. We will fight to end racial discrimination by capitalist enterprises, especially banks, insurance companies, and other financial institutions. And again, like this is another thing that I notice black people complain about. But I say to myself, look, I realize more and more that, even though, sure, it could be racial discrimination, right? But I'm saying to myself, you want private enterprises to not discriminate against you when you don't even have no damn credit with them. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have no credit with them. Like I'll say it this way. In another community, right? If they go to the bank, people know them because they cousins, they friends, they marry into each other. You go to the bank, you a whole damn stranger. You a whole damn foreigner, and you expect them to not discriminate on the fact that they don't even know who you are. They want them to treat you the same way they treat family, even though they don't know who you are. And I'm not saying there's no racial discrimination, right? I'm not saying that there's not, blah, 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 blah. Because, I know, I'm not saying that there's not. But, I completely expect it. It's like I said, if I go to Africa, right, they're going to treat me like a wealthy American. Even if I go to Jamaica, they're going to treat me like a Yankee, wealthy American, right? Well, Yankee's not wealthy American, but they're going to treat me like a Yankee, based on how I talk, right? That's because they're going to know I'm a foreigner. They're going to know I'm not family. No, I'm not from around there. Right? And now, for some reason, you think that in this country, they shouldn't treat you different. Or as a foreigner, they should treat you as family. But why should they treat you as family? Why? It's like, this is one of the realizations I had. Because one time I was walking through this neighborhood, and I saw this white lady. And she's walking near me, I'm walking near her. And we're walking past each other. And I'm like, this woman has no reason to feel safe next to me. None. I ain't never seen her, she ain't never seen me. I don't care about her, she don't care about me. Now, one of you, or some of you might be like, hey, well, I mean, well, I'm out of trouble. I'm out of danger. Why don't you trust me?
I am dangerous.
Hey, get out of here. All right. Anyway, so what I'm saying is that I know I'm supposed to be recording saying I gotta cut off the recording when I tell this kid something. But anyway, look. But what I'm saying is that they have no reason to trust you. I have no reason to trust this woman, but I'm not afraid of her because I'm a grown ass man and she's a small, frail white woman. Big difference. So if she's afraid of being around me, that's intelligent of her. If she clutches her purse when she's around me, because look, damn well you better know that if I was of the mindset that I was just gonna grab her purse and run, she couldn't catch me. If I was of the mindset of just picking her up and put her, shoving her in a car, she couldn't stop me. Now of course I don't like white women, so I ain't gonna do that. I wouldn't do that to nobody anyway. I wouldn't do that to no woman because I ain't really into that kind of stuff. But what I'm saying is that she don't know who I am. She don't know what my mindset is. She don't know why I'm in her community. She just trying to go from point A to point B, and then some of your people gonna be like, well, she's just a racist. No, she just understands that she don't know who you are, and she don't want to know who you are, cause she's living a good life without knowing who you are. And like I don't know who this lady is to this point. Like I'm talking about her right now. I never saw her again. I don't even want to see her again. If I did see her again, I wouldn't even notice. We seek a society in which, let's start the coffee shop too. Bruh. Bruh. Alright. Let's see. We seek a society in which working people enjoy safe working conditions and flexible hours to accommodate family responsibilities, leisure, and vacations. Right? And again, like I said, you working somewhere, these people do not care about you. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have safe working conditions, because you should. Particularly if you're in another country, you should. But again, like I said, it's entitlement. But this whole, we should have flexible hours to accommodate our family responsibilities, leisure, and vacations. Like, they're not worried about your family responsibilities, leisure, or vacations. Why should they be worried about, why should anybody care about your family responsibilities, your leisure, and your vacations if you're in this business? They hired you to make them money. They hired you to make them money, and you saying, well, no, care about me. Care about me. They're not even in the business. Like Coco was saying, let's say we open up a coffee shop. I mean, if I open up a coffee shop, I want profits at the end of the day because it cost me $50 grand out of my pocket, and I want to make it back. And not just that, if I'm looking over the papers and I'm doing this, so on and so forth, I want to make some money off of it. And if you're telling me, well, it's getting in the way of my family responsibilities and my leisure and my vacations, right? I'm going to say, get your black ass out of my company. You know what I'm saying? Get your black ass out of my coffee shop. I'm going to find somebody who got more damn sense to not be talking to me about family responsibility, leisure, and vacations. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not going to give people flexible hours and all that stuff, but I'm saying that, especially if I were a white person, I would say, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I need to spend some more time with my wife. He's just like, look, man, the company's failing right now. The company's not making any profit. You're going to tell me that you need to take a week off so that you can spend some time with your wife because of X, Y, Z? You think I'm supposed to care? And if I fire you, you're going to tell me I'm immoral and you're going to make a whole social media post about, all I wanted to do was spend some time with my wife? Like, I don't care about that stuff. You open up a charter, or you open up a McDonald's, right? You spend how much grand on opening up a McDonald's, getting a place, doing all this kind of stuff, right? And then somebody's gonna be like, well, all I wanted to do was go to Barbados, and he didn't let me go to Barbados, or he fired me because I went to Barbados. What? Yeah, I fired you because you went to Barbados. You were supposed to be at the I'm trying to make money. I'm not trying to sustain you. And the reason why I'm trying to make money is because this thing cost me. And because the money that I get from this sustains the life that I want for myself. And if you wanted something for yourself, then you should have saved up money and doing so on and so forth. It's not complicated. And I don't want to sound like no capitalist supporter or nothing like that, because I'm not. But, I mean, I'm just trying to give y'all some reality and some common damn sense. Because that's something that's missing from the conversation. You know, so like I said, if you appreciate that, you know, drop a like, drop a comment, all that kind of good stuff. You know? But let's keep going. D, we seek laws mandating public ownership of utilities and mandating federal and local budgetary emphasis on programs for the general welfare, health care, education, public transportation, recreation, and infrastructure. Like I said, you know, the politicians, a lot of them is just going for their family. They're going for their community, their immediate community, their family, and their so on and so forth. They're not looking out for you unless they're in your community. Okay? Unless they're in your community, and even then, right, it's like a give or take. You know, a lot of politicians are looking out for particularly themselves and their immediate community. You know, so your whole, you know, we want general welfare, health care, blah, blah. That's what you're supposed to have your black politicians for. And you're supposed to select your black politicians accordingly. Okay? Because the city budget is money. Is big money. You know? Like you see the mandating federal budgetary programs on general welfare. The federal budget is like, for America, it's like a few $1 trillion. You know, bigger than Amazon that you guys keep complaining about. Bigger than Amazon. Okay, and you see all that Amazon could do around the world, right? Federal budget do more than that, right? But you know, so you're like, hey, well, we want to have it. So then just get the politicians. Just get the politicians. But you know, just typing about it. I mean, like I understand this, but like I said, get the politicians. Get the politicians. That's all I can say. I mean, if you were trying to be really practical, you just say, look, we support politicians that do X, Y, Z, right? E, we will struggle for laws that regulate private sector business practices, especially regarding prices, fees, plant shutdowns, and job relocations. Where shutdowns are permitted, adequate compensation to workers shall be required. See what I'm saying? Like I said, like I said, when it comes to capitalism, the capitalist doesn't like this stuff. Okay, the reason why he doesn't like this stuff is because he put money into it. So you open up a factory. Y'all know how much a factory costs to make? Actually, let me look that up. Right? Oh, hold on a second. Harsh Reality Podcast says, the WW. Why even I use this audience in the building? You already know, bro. You already know. All right, let me look how much a factory costs. How much? This kid needs it. How much does a factory cost? Right? So the total cost, right, for a factory. They're saying a factory of 3-story square foot buildings, right? And they're just saying if you just get in, if y'all want me to show y'all, I could show y'all. Hold on a second. Let me see. Yeah, I can show y'all. Hold on a second. Let me switch screens. Switch screens. Okay. Is that a good one? Alright. This one shows me. It says how much does the factory cost? So they're saying, look, if you just talking about factories, 3-story square foot building, this is not even a factory that's doing anything. This is just if you were to do the factory. Total cost is $9 million. Contractor fee, right? Overhead, blah, blah, $2 million extra. Architectural fee, which is 6%, $9 million. So the total building cost is $11 million. Now, I don't see, it's percent of the total, right? So $11 million. Okay? Oh, sorry, $12 million, right? That's just a factory that's not even doing anything, right? This is just to build a factory. Costs $12 million. Right here it says it can run as little as $250,000 to as much as $20 million, right? And it's like if you're not even including whatever the factory's doing, okay? Now, somebody puts in $12 million. Now they might not have $12 million on hand. They might have, let's say, $5 million on hand, okay? Now with this $5 million, they're gonna go to the bank and say we need an extra $25 million to do X, Y, and Z, right? And they're going to go to the bank, and the bank is going to say, okay, we're going to have this $5 million, and we're going to have your house collateral, we're going to have this as collateral, we're going to have this, that, blah, 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 and you're going to have to somehow make up all this money later to pay the bank back, and then eventually make some profit off of this factory, and all that kind of stuff. And of course, you're going to have to pay these workers, you're going to have to pay this thing, and you're paying all these workers on loan and all that kind of stuff. And then what you do is you come around, right? You come around with your entitled ass, and you saying, well, I think that you should compensate us in case you got shut down. After you done lost your business. Then you lost your factory. They're like, well, you should actually compensate us because we wasted our damn time working for you. You understand? like that's what I'm trying to say. That we not even considering that. And I'm not saying that you should be considerate to the people who are blah blah blah. But I'm just saying that you probably could get a glimpse as to why they are not really supporting any of your ideas, or why they don't really support these kind of ideas. Because again, when you're talking about real money and really, because like even that, like so you're talking about $12 million, right? I don't have that. I'm talking big and I'm blah blah blah. I don't have that, and I mean, of course, these people might not have it either. They go to the bank so that they could make these factories. They could, they have to have the whole business model. They propose this model and they show it off to the stranger, to the bank. The bank says, yeah, it looks like you can make some profit, and maybe in 5 years you might actually make back that $12 million, right? If you were able to export it to this country, that country, and this country, and sell it in this store and that store, and make all these connections, and do all that work, and all you're saying is this, that, well, if you got shut down, you should pay us a little more money, because we don't wasted our damn time working for you. Come on. And it's like the capitalists not worried about paying you extra money for getting shut down. You understand? Because it's not even his money. Or her money. Y'all see me. I'm trying to be that gender balance, right? Anyway. But yeah, shout out to the family in the chat. KWZ Radio's here. You know what I'm saying? Literally, right? Alright, let's keep going. So, we will struggle for laws that regulate private sector business practices. Oh, sorry, that's the same one, right? We support the historical mission of trade unions to represent workers' interests and to negotiate on their behalf. Now, of course, I actually don't, trade unions are a good thing too. I'm not going to front, right? Anyway, let's see. We seek a fair, equitable, highly progressive tax system that places the heaviest taxes on the wealthiest sector, and we seek expansion of the earned income tax credit. And I mean, like more and more, because like I said, I'm trying to do this trade. I'm trying to do this stock market. I'm trying to make me some bread. But I realize that when I make this bread, I'm going to have to give some of this to Uncle Sam. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't call him Uncle Sam because he ain't related to me. But, I'm saying I realize that they're going to take out some money, regardless of how much money I make. Now, I understand that. Like I said, I understand that you as the government, as the overhead that's securing my paper, making sure that anybody, that insures my paper and secures my paper, right? Making sure that, trying to get rid of the people who would otherwise steal it. I understand that you deserve some paper for that too, right? But I also see how this kind of like I said, like if we were to work together, and build up economy, I could see why, this might not even be something that we're concerned. But like I said, I'm not really worried about it. I mean, I already know Harsh Reality Podcast might be like, hold on a second, don't tax my money. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess brother don't want to pay no damn tax. But but like like me, I'm like I don't mind. I don't really mind about that. I ain't gonna hate on them for this. I mean, I ain't gonna hate on them for that. All right, let's see. We will fight to end the super exploitation of Southern workers. And the reason why I say this too is because like again, what we have to realize is that the government is financed by taxes. Largely, I think it's like 50% by private citizens, and then like 35% by corporate taxes. You know what I mean? And then the other rest like tariffs and all that kind of stuff. Once upon a time the U.S. government was financed by its tariffs, right? But it realized that if you tax the people, which is something that, like I said, our ancient ancestors did the taxing thing too. You know what I mean? So, and of course the church does the taxing thing too. So I'm not really opposed to taxes. I think that we should tax ourselves so that we could build something bigger and better. But, since I know y'all ain't trying to hear that, I ain't even gonna go into it. You know what I mean? But I ain't really mad at them for that one. Alright. Let's see. Taxation is theft, bro. You see what I'm saying? I told y'all, man. We live in a global market now. The U.S. has long since lost factory jobs due to the fact it's cheaper to produce products in foreign countries. Last I checked, the U.S. is 80% service-based economy. Yeah. See, Harsh Reality is talking about it. Again, like I said, the factory costs that much money to make in the United States. It don't cost that same amount of money in Africa. It don't cost the same amount of money in India. And again, you could work the workers. You can pay the workers much less. You understand? Like they don't have that kind of they're not looking for $20 an hour. Because like $20 an hour is because they're making $20 a month and they happy. Like you give them $20 a month, they happy. So they're not looking for $20 an hour. So so you don't have to pay them $20 an hour. So then now you come along, like I said, you go back to this one, and you're like, well, you shut down the business, you're the job relocation, and then you shut down the business. We should have adequate compensation for that. And they're like, what are you talking about? I shut down the business because I'm looking to make this money. You know, I can't afford $12 million in America. But you know, I mean, I don't know if I could. Maybe I should search up the factory cost in what y'all? Oh yeah, y'all say India, right? Let's see, factory cost in India. Oh dang, it wasn't a. They don't have it as. It's not on the top search, so I'm not even gonna. Hold on a second. Let's see. Yeah, it's not a quick, fast, you know, search. But of course, they say the average cost of factory labor is less than $2 an hour in India. You know what I mean? So, you know, like just understand how much money they're saving. And you might be like, well, that's exploitation and blah blah blah. But it's like that's the reason why they're not trying to go with you. Because again, like I said, other people just, you know, they're like $2 an hour. What? I get $2 an hour working here? Let me go for it. You know what I'm saying? Because the things ain't as expensive. You know? Like the cost of living is not as high. So you left behind, but that's because you ain't doing what you need to do. You know, you don't have the financial, like you're not going to no bank to get the money for the factory. And if you were going to make a factory in America, you taking up a whole bigger cost yourself. You know? Nobody could afford it. Not that nobody could afford it, but it's just like you taking up an extra cost just to say you in America. You know what I mean? And that's like not everybody's willing for that. Hold on a second. Alright, so let's see. Taxation and stuff. Sales tax, understandable. Income tax, not so much. Yeah, I know. I knew you were gonna say that, man. I can tell you from that podcast you had where the sister was talking. I was like, oh snap, that brother's not gonna like progressive taxes. You know, like I said, I don't mind because I realize that, like I said, I understand if the government want to cut of my taxes. You know what I mean? I understand if they want to cut. It's like if you know, like I understand if anybody wants a cut of my money if they also. Now, what I mean is this: it's a normal thing to want income tax. You know what I mean? Because if you're trading, if you're bringing something from point A to point B, right? Anywhere, right? Or if you have a market stand, and it's like if I want to have a market stand at the African festival, right? They're gonna tell me you gotta pay to have a stand at that festival. You know what I mean? So I already know that, you know, people charge you for being a part of being in their business environment. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. I mean, but you know, like I said, I get it. You know what I mean? Now this right here is progressive tax system, which is another thing where it's like, wait, hold on a second, that's a little bit different. But like I get why people would say it. I mean, I get why people who don't got money would say this. You know, I get why people who do have money wouldn't like this. You know, but you know, like I ain't really like me. I'm not really sweating because my thing is to just get some paper and get out of the country. You know, y'all can sweat that. You know what I'm saying? All right, we will fight to end the super exploitation of Southern workers. More than 50% of people of African descent residing in the U.S. live in the South, where workers' earnings and general welfare are besieged by corporate practices, and where right-to-work laws undermine union organizing. Thus, we seek relief for Southern workers from corporate oppression, and we will struggle to repeal anti-union laws. We will also fight for aid to black farmers and for the restoration of farmland seized from them by agribusiness speculators and real estate developers. So it's like I said, this stuff is noble in a sense, but again, it's otherwise it's entitled and lazy. Because it's like if you can fight this fight, then just fight it on the continent where you're actually the majority and where there's a lot of you and you can actually get things done. You know, where you're not bothering another person. Because if another person wants to use the land that black farmers have, right? Then like it's their country. That's what they want to do. They wanna like it's like if they know that they can use the land that you use, you know, to like, all right, let's say, all right, even if it's something that's not noble, if they want to grow marijuana on the land that sustained you and your family for 30 years, right? But they know that they want to sell marijuana to college kids on a nearby campus, right? Then yeah, they're going to try to get your land from you. You understand? Because even though your family might have been fed on your land for how many years, right? That don't mean nothing to them. Because what's important to them is to sell this marijuana to those college students. You understand? That's what's important to them. Or like when they say real estate developers, what's important is to give them that oceanfront property. You know, or the lakeside view. White people are not worried about your historical condition because, like, why would they be worried about that? You know, like, I might be worried about that. I might come up and be like, oh, wow, you guys had this land for 50 years? Wow, that's amazing. You know, it's a good thing. Hold on to it. Hold title to your land. I might say that. But why would a white person, you know, from Arkansas, you know, care anything about that for you? You know, why do they care that, oh, you held this land for 50 years? Like, they're not impressed. They're like, okay, how much you selling it for? Because I'm trying to grow some marijuana. You know what I mean? Like they're not worried about what you're worried about. And you're like, oh, we want union. Like I said, I don't mind the unions. I understand why, but I understand why capitalists ain't sweating unions. Least of all for you. I understand, because like I said, they looking for as the people critique them, they're looking to maximize profit. Why are they looking to maximize profit? Because they might be in debt. And if they're not in debt, if they're making that money, then they like that. Like you know, like when I'm on this market and I make some money, I'm like, yo, shoot, I told y'all the other day, I called my dad, I was like, yo, you know the money I made today? You know what I mean? And then of course the next day I'm losing money. And you know, I'm there whining on the TL like, shit, somebody say something. You know what I'm saying? Somebody tell me something good. You know what I mean? But like again, that's all my risk. You know? That's all my risk. You know, so I mean, it's like there's a lot going on, but let's keep going. We will struggle to ensure that all people in society receive free public education. So we affirm that all are entitled to free quality education throughout their lifetime. Free education should include adult education and retraining for occupational and career changes. We will fight to ensure that curricula in U.S. schools, colleges, and universities are anti-racist, anti-sexist, and anti-homophobic, and for curricula that adequately accommodate students' needs to express and develop their artistic, musical, or other creative potential. Now, again, like I said, this is just ridiculous and entitled. And lazy. You know? Fight to ensure that U.S. school, that curricula in U.S. schools, now this might be all schools. So you want all, I don't know if it's all schools, but they want the schools to be anti-racist. And look, I understand why you would want a school to be anti-racist. I'm not saying that I don't understand that. What I don't understand is why you're going to another man's nation and telling him how to educate his children. Okay? And or even telling him that how to develop his children. Or even telling him how to develop your children if you're in his school. You understand? If you're in his school, then you don't know a damn thing. Then you done forfeited the right of developing your children. You understand? If you're in his school, you forfeited the right to educate your own children. It's like y'all hear my son in the back, right? Homeschool. Now you might be like, well, only you might have it better than other people. Okay, that's fine. You can say that, but it don't even matter. And then here, look at this. Free education should include adult education. So they're gonna be provided. And look, like I said, with free education, you gotta realize, education is just free for you. You know, the professor has to work for money. So the professor that's giving you this adult education that you could just sit in, you could walk in and walk out with no punishment, he's getting 90 grand. Right? And not just that, because if you're talking about adult education open to all adults, you're talking about a whole professor, right? A whole extra slew of professors getting 100 grand, right? To do education and retrain for occupational and career changes at the whim, free of charge to the individual who could just drop out, drop in, come in, no cost for themselves, right? And then you talking about they're going to make the curriculum, and I'm not saying anti-racist, anti-sexist. I mean, I don't know about, well, you know, I'm not saying go anti-homophobic. I'm not going to say that, all right? But what I'm saying is that, you know, you coming around saying, the reason I'm not saying that because I don't want to waste my time on it, right? But what I'm saying is this, that you saying that you're gonna just go change this other person's curriculum to suit your narrative, right? And you know, kind of like how Wazungu does, where he goes into Africa and he says, well, you guys can't be, you know, he says you can't be anti-homophobic, you can't blah 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 blah, or you can't be anti-racist, you can't be about, you know, it's like look at Bitter Medicine podcast where he's talking about where he's reading these papers where these black folk are sounding like white folk, talking about, oh, we need human rights and we need to look out for every race, and we need so on and so forth. That's not what you want. That's not what you want in Africa, but that's exactly what these people are telling you you should push into, not just Africa, but push into America. And these white people are going to tell you, we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear, oh yeah, let's give these black people a fair shake. Let's give these, you know, they don't want to hear that. I'm not saying it's not a decent thing for you to want to pursue, but I understand why they would reject it. But I understand why they reject it. You know? I understand why they reject it. Let's see. Alright, fam, let's see. Yeah, we going through this thing. Alright, so we will struggle against state terrorism. So we will fight for a society in which every person in every community is free from state repression, including freedom from state-sponsored surveillance, right? We seek amnesty for and the release of all political prisoners. We will struggle to repeal all legislation that expands the police power of the state and undermines the U.S. Constitution's First and Fourth Amendments. We will fight to eliminate the deliberate trafficking in drugs and weapons in our community by organized crime and by institutions of the state, such as the Central Intelligence Agency. So, like I said, I understand this. I understand this, but let's actually look into this, because this is something that a lot of us don't even understand, in the sense of, like, you can't just look at things from your perspective. You gotta look at it from both perspectives. Like, you gotta know, like I said, like, you gotta know your enemy and know why I'm telling you that you should just repatriate. Like, if you really want this kind of stuff, you should just repatriate, because it's not your community. But he says, we will fight for a society when every person in every community is free from state repression, including freedom from state-sponsored surveillance. So it's like this. One of the things that government does, that all governments are going to do, is surveil the people. Okay, all governments, they're supposed to do that. They're supposed to keep a track and a record of everybody in their borders. So you asking them, don't engage in state surveillance. Don't engage in knowing who's within your borders and what they're about. If you're telling them to not do that, they're going to tell you, F you. If you're trying to be a functioning community, a functioning nation, you got to know who's in your, it's like for instance, like for instance, you know, at where I live, right? If I had a bunch of strangers in my home, right? Don't know who they are, don't know what they're about, right? That wouldn't make any damn sense for me. Like, it don't make any sense for you to not know who's in your borders. And I'm not saying I support state-sponsored surveillance. I'm not saying I support that. But I understand why they do it. You got to understand why these people are doing it. They got to know who's within their doors. Now, you're saying we seek amnesty for and release of all political prisoners. If you know, like for instance, you talking to these political prisoners. Like, I remember that I was hearing from these political prisoners. And some of them are like, yeah, we're just trying to overthrow America. So the white man just locked them up. And then it's like, we'll release you if you say you don't want to overthrow America anymore. They're like, no, we still want to overthrow America. We think you're a dirty scum of a nation. We want to overthrow you. They're like, look, we'll release you if you say you're not going to try to overthrow us. Nope, I'm going to always try to overthrow you. So then these people are locked up for 40 years. They're like, are you sure you're not going to just renounce your... Nope, not going to renounce it. But it's like, look, if you in any country and you talking about overthrowing that country, they're probably going to lock you up. If you're a citizen of that country, they're probably going to lock you up if they don't kill you. And so they're not just going to release you if you're talking about trying to be a revolutionary in their community. And especially if you're a black person talking about doing revolutionary, even if you're a white person talking about revolutionary, but if you're a black person talking about overthrowing the government, they're not going to be looking out for you and saying, you know what, we shouldn't be locking you up. You should be free to talk about, you should be free to organize a revolution against us. Don't make no sense. And it's like, oh, state repression. Yeah, state repression. And a state, I mean, it depends on what you mean by state repression. It depends on what you mean by state repression. But a lot of times when you're talking about state repression, you know, like I said, it's like, sometimes it's just about, oh, yeah, these people are like, or like, for instance, I'll tell you, like on the Discord, sister was telling me yesterday, she was like, there's this person in Angola, I think, yeah, Angola, who was activist. So the Angolan government was like torturing them, blah, 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 and accusing them of trying to overthrow the presidency. You know, but it's like, yeah, if you trying to overthrow the presidency, or if you're an activist or whatever, you know, and you're trying to do something, yeah, the state's going to be active against you. You know what I mean? If it's like I think it was Secretary Ray who said, if you're not doing anything against the enemy's not going to do anything against you. You know what I mean? Right? So a lot of people who nobody's doing anything against you, it's because you ain't doing anything against them. But of course, if you're doing something against the enemy, that's the other caveat, then the enemy's going to do something against you. Enemy's not just going to sit by and let you do whatever it is that you want to do. Right? And it's like, we will struggle to repeal all legislation that expands the police power of the state and undermines the U.S. Constitution's First and Fourth Amendment. Now, I mean, again, like I said, I understand this. A lot of people don't want to hear the rebuttal to this, so I'm not even interested. But, you know, like I understand, like the reason why these white people got policing is because, like I said, they got to make sure that your community is behaving the way they want it to. You know, I think it was there's a video. I transcribed it into the Book of Power. So make sure y'all remember that I wrote the Book of Power. But I transcribed this video of this interview of Chancellor Williams, where he's like, I don't believe the story, okay? But he's like, he knows somebody who overheard a conversation where these white people were telling how they're going to sell drugs to the black community, right? So look how this guy is talking about we'll eliminate trafficking of drugs and blah blah blah. And he's like, we're going to sell drugs to the black community, but under one condition. And that condition of black people being free to sell drugs and get paid for it, right? The one condition is that black folk do not sell drugs in the white community. Now, I don't know. Some of y'all might be familiar with some cartoons. There's a cartoon called Black Dynamite. This brother, he was on the Tyler Perry movies, but he's also he's a martial artist. He's a cool guy. I can't remember his name, but he's in this Black Dynamite cartoon, and he does this one. He's in the show, the movie. And then there's a cartoon, right, version of it. And he was like, one of the episodes, he had these black folk, they got the drugs, and they sold to the white community instead. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like a twist on that, you know, and they just explored that and all that kind of stuff. But, like, this is, and then, you know, of course, the Nixon got pissed, I think, I don't remember. But the point being that, you know, white people are going to police you so that you are not violent against white people. You understand? Or so that you're not selling drugs to white people. So that you're not destroying white communities. They're going to police you to protect their own communities. You understand? It's that simple. You know, because, like, let's say you got violence in a particular black neighborhood, right? They know that anybody, like, if they left you alone, black people would get to some black person would get down there, be like, we shouldn't be violent among ourselves. We should be violent against white people. Matter of fact, you know, matter of fact, you can even hear that, you know, on the Bit of Massive podcast. You know, sometimes Bit of Massive podcast will tell you why we violent against our own people. Like, that's something that black people are going to say. White people are there to police you so that don't really come true. You understand? The drug trafficking, that's money. Period. You know? I should tell y'all about this one time I was, you know, back when I only had the pro-black compendium, I would go out, you know, wherever black people were walking by, and I'll try to sell them a book. And I feel pretty good, you know, getting $15, you know, blah, blah, you know, off of my own work. You know, that's pretty good, right? But, you know, I'm there, I'm outside, and I'm selling these things. So then I come across this one brother, right? The brother's like, I guess he want to know what I was doing. I don't know. But me and him striking a conversation. Come to find out he just sells, like, every time I talk to a black person, I'm like, hey, you know, this is a good book, blah, 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 blah. They're like, yeah, I don't have any money, right? I don't have any money. I don't walk with cash. Blah blah blah. I bump into this brother, and he's like, he's a drug dealer, and he's like a light drug dealer. Sells marijuana. Matter of fact, he even said that he went to jail before when he was in jail. he was still selling marijuana. He was like had an account with hundreds of thousands of dollars and all that kind of stuff, right? Just off of selling drugs in the jail, which to me I was like, how do you do it? But he didn't want to tell me, obviously, right? But all the same, because he probably figured I was snitch and talk about it on the podcast. But hopefully he don't remember me. No, I'm joking. But anyway, I'm trying to figure out what my kids eating. That's what I want to know. But anyway, look. So the guy, yeah. So what he does is he's talking to me, and he's like, and I guess he's not afraid of me because I mean, he's a drug dealer, go to prison and all that stuff, and I'm just a dude selling books on the street. But he's telling me, he shows me how much money's in his wallet off of selling marijuana for one day, and it's like $1,000 something. Okay, so he makes $1,000 selling marijuana to the same people who say they don't got no money, they ain't walking out with no money, right? And of course, like if you understand how much money is in drugs, I remember I was talking to this one sister, and she talking about, because some people don't even know how much money it is. She's talking about, I was able to procure, I got a bag for like $350 or something like that. Like this is like, and I know I was talking to this other sister, like I said, she ain't working, she ain't got no job, nothing. She high every night. She gets high every night. Don't make no sense to me, right? But what I'm saying is that if you know that like there's money in drugs. There's money in drugs. There's more money in drugs than there's in books. So if the state is like, you know what, let me profit off of this, because I don't support this drug, so I'm gonna say it like this. Let me profit off of black people being silly, and it's not just black people. Obviously, white people do the same thing, but it's like, let me profit off of that. You like, I want to eliminate that. That's fine. You can go try. But they figured, look, let me get a piece of this, because if there's money to be gained, like I don't see why I wouldn't. Particularly if these people like I said with the simplest thing. If you know damn well these people are not gonna get no treatment anyway, then you go learn something. Or like this brother was saying, like one time I was sitting down, this brother, like we was at this meeting, and the brother was like, he was like, he gonna sell drugs to the community, so that he can make money to do something positive for the community. And I was like, that's a dumb, silly thing. I don't agree with that at all. But like, even when I'm looking back, I'm just like, like what he was saying, he was like an older person. He was just trying to break down that people gonna buy drugs regardless of whether you selling it or somebody else selling it. But if you're gonna do something positive with the money, now of course I still wouldn't do that. But like I said, if this brother could come up with this idea of putting profit over people, for the sake of helping people, in the long run, right? I don't see why you would think that white people couldn't come up with that idea. Like it still wouldn't make any sense. Because it's really a logical idea. I wouldn't personally do it, but I mean, I'm not really saying that people. I understand if somebody comes to that conclusion that because I tell you, if y'all know, like I said, I used to be walk in the community, and I see this older lady, and I do my typical greetings, whatever, well, not greetings, but I'll give her some respect, and the sister's like, I'm just out here trying to buy some marijuana. You know what I mean? Like old ass somebody's grandmother. I'm just trying to buy some marijuana. I'm just trying to. She's like, you got any weed that I can buy from you? And I'm like, what? Like it is what it is, right? So we'll struggle for a clean and healthy environment. So we will fight for a society in which the welfare of people. I'm trying to wrap it. I'm trying to be quicker. We will fight for a society in which the welfare of people and the natural environment takes precedence over commercial profits and political expediency. We will work to protect, preserve, and enhance societies of the planet's natural heritage, forests, lakes, rivers, oceans, mountain ranges, animal life, flora, and fauna. In the U.S., we will struggle against environmental racism by fighting for laws that strictly regulate the disposal of hazardous industrial waste and that forbid both the discriminatory targeting of poor and non-white communities for dumping and despoilment of the natural environment. Like I said, look, me personally, environmentalism is a really important issue for me. That's part of the reason why I even liked these political parties, or this political party in particular, because it's like environmentalism is a really important issue. I understand, but like I said, I mean, but like that's another thing too. It's like in one of the poems I wrote for like a long time, like 10 years ago, I was talking about how New York has the nuclear, it puts its nuclear waste in the Black South. You know what I mean? It puts the nuclear waste of New York in like black neighborhoods. And it has an impact on the black people there. And I mean, to me, of course, to us, that sounds terrible. It's like, they're poisoning, they're purposely dumping, this kind of material into black neighborhoods. And, you could even just say, like, in neighborhoods with really bad government and all that kind of stuff. all the same, or the governments that don't care about them, all the same, right? You know, like white people are not gonna put the waste into their communities, and not just that. It's like I remember somebody was telling me this story. They were saying, like I said, I used to roll with the socialists for a hot minute. That's why if y'all noticed, he was talking about Marxism. I actually knew it, you know. But they were saying that, you know, the black, like during the time of the Black Panthers, there was also this group called the Young Lords. They were like this Latino version, I guess. Anyway, and they were saying that the Young Lords, they used to tell this story because, you know, they used to tell the story to everybody, right? And they were saying the Young Lords used to, or like they used to be like a Latino neighborhood that was getting dumped, like I think it was like West Harlem, you know, like whatever part of Harlem that is, that it's like Latino more so, right? And they were getting the waste of like a certain community was they weren't collecting the garbage. They stopped collecting the garbage in their neighborhood. So what these people did, the Young Lords did, was they gathered the garbage in their community and they put it in a white neighborhood. And because of that, you know, the white neighborhood, the government suddenly was like, oh, they're gonna start dumping their garbage on our neighborhood, then we're gonna pick up their garbage because that's their demands, right? But the point being though is that, like, if you want something done, and the lesson there was that if you want something done, you gotta show your force. You know, show your strength, show your determination. You know, it's not as simple as just saying, oh, you know, because the thing is that they're going to have to dump the nuclear waste or the hazardous waste somewhere, right? And the only way that you can protect yourself really is to protect yourself, really. You understand? But I mean, I kind of like I said, environmentalism is important to me, so I understand this demand. I'm not against it, but I also understand that if they're going to have to dump the industrial waste somewhere, they're probably not going to dump it in their neighborhood. They're probably not going to dump it in an affluent neighborhood. They're probably going to dump it somewhere where the people are just going to develop, you know, all sorts of problems from it and not do anything about it. You know? And I mean, I don't got to tell you what those people look like. You know what I mean? I haven't got to tell you what those people look like. Hold on a second. So, let's see. We got some comments. Oh, Michael J. White. That's my dude, right? Dang, okay, this is a little active here. So let's see. Bit of Medicine Package says, no, Pan-African is not about no damn global human rights issue. So Alfred Booty says, how can we be radical when we are so dependent on the system and the benefit it gives us? Exactly. Becoming more and more independent, Alfred. Ubuntu living. Parliament's group, we are naturally your allies. Uyghurs, Dalits, Latinx. When it comes to America, still oppress you. African Ubuntu is key. Without economic unity, I don't know. Are not allies though. So you guys are having a conversation. Let me see. I mean, I can obviously come back to it. Michael J. White. The Boers in South Africa say we are black. Really don't know how to organize economically. We can't come together for a strong currency, fair exchange. Yeah. Newsflash: money and drugs. I wouldn't care for what Boers say. All right. The group stories can show you oppression take form. Blah. East Harlem is Latino. Oh, East Harlem. Yeah. I don't be going. I don't be going to Harlem, man. That's a long ass bus ride. You know what I'm saying? All right, long ass train ride. I can't drive. You already know that. Border War is the same thing as the Heritage Foundation and those billionaires, think tanks, craft. Knowing your enemy is better than the art of war. Yeah. All right. So yeah, you guys got it. Let's see. So number 8. Okay. So we're finally on page 3. I'm surprised we're going so slow. Well, I'm gonna try to speed up. All right. We will fight to abolish police brutality, unwarranted incarceration, and the death penalty. Okay. So we are determined to end police brutality and murder. Well, we will fight for, and look, police brutality, here's the thing I want you all to remember, because I was reading that thing from Lenin, okay? So Lenin, talking about Russia, is complaining about police brutality. So police brutality is just something normal in the West. You know, the peasants of the feudal system were complaining about police brutality. They were complaining about the nobles sending the knights to beat up the peasants. They were complaining about that. The white people know one thing, and that's to control people with physical force. Okay? So you saying you want to end police brutality, like it doesn't make, like in a white nation, doesn't make any damn sense. If you don't want police brutality, go to a black nation. It's really that simple. Like I said, I was sitting in Jamaica, and my grandmother was saying, she was saying, oh, it's too bad about that police brutality in your area. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother, she's in a black, poorer nation, and she's in the poor side of the poor nation too. She's not even in, like, you know, and she's like, oh, too bad about the police brutality where you're at. Understand there's not really police brutality. Not to say there's not police brutality in Jamaica, But because again, you know, there's like prison torture and all that stuff in Jamaica too, right? But she's just saying, look, well, she was also telling me like, oh, the police are scared of the army here, like the army will do something about the police, kind of thing, you know? And I mean, actually, I'm not gonna front. I actually was walking and I saw some army truck, some truck with some dudes with rifles and machine guns just driving by casually, you know. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I can see whoever's in charge of that is in charge. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like you're in the third world. You know what I'm saying? Like you're in a whole different ball game. You know, not to say I never saw that in America, but you know, it's only like. But anyway, A, we will fight for strong civilian oversight of police work by elected civilian review boards that are empowered to discipline police misconduct and enforce residency requirements for police officers. Now, again, like I said, you know, these white people are not interested in this. The reason why they're not interested in residency requirements is because they're not trying to, like I said, you look at the Lenin thing. Lenin is talking about how the police are brutalizing the socialists because the socialists are trying to be revolutionaries in Russia. Okay? He's saying that they are constantly monitoring the political activities and the students and the student organizations and all that stuff in Russia because they don't want the Russians to do a revolution. Eventually, Lenin leads a revolution in Russia. So they weren't even that effective. But or they were effective, it's just that he was able to, you know, outsmart them, outthink them. They understand that they're not trying to be outsmarted and outthought in their country. Because the Russian didn't want to lose his country to the Russian. The American doesn't want to lose his country to you. He don't want to lose his country, period. He definitely don't want to lose his country to you. So no, he's not going to enforce no residency requirement where armed policemen can look the other way when his neighbor was talking revolution around him. Like, come on, like, this is common sense. It's common sense that you're asking these white people for things that they're not going to concede because it wouldn't even be intelligent for them. You know? B, we seek fundamental changes in police training and education to emphasize public service over social control as the context in which law enforcement occurs, and to stress respect for the histories and cultures of the U.S.-born and immigrant communities served. So, yeah, again, you know, they're like some people say, police are there to protect the property, protect the businesses and property of white people. Again, like if you want this trading, like if you're doing some stock trading, if you will, right? The government is telling you your money is insured up to $250,000. Okay, so now obviously I'm trying to get more than that, but the point being that the government is saying we're going to insure your stuff up to $250,000 to the point where if somebody steals my money, and let's say I have $250,000, or let's say I have $300,000, if they steal my $300,000, right, the government will have to then lose $250,000 and pay it to me. Okay, so and the government doesn't want us to pay no $250,000 if they could pay some intern, $20 or $10 an hour to make sure that whoever's trying to hack my account doesn't do it. You understand? Like, or just the same in the police. Like, if you have a business, you might have insurance up to $1 million, right? Government don't want to pay no $1 million for your business getting burned down, right? Don't want to pay no $1 million for your business getting burned down if it could just pay some police officer to rough you up and in prison and jail or pay some teacher to make you feel pretty dumb and not even think about nothing. Nothing involving burning down no buildings. You understand? Or even like they could pay, they can work you in a prison for how much money, and the prison and just arrest you and make money off of you or whatever, right? Instead of having to pay the business that you're going to terrorize if they weren't policing you. Alright, so we seek to limit incarceration to the most violent criminals, only those who have clearly demonstrated their danger to the lives and limbs of others. Like again, like I said, they understand that if they jail you, they can enslave you. They understand that, so they're not even interested in only the most violent criminals. You know? Regarding non-violent offenders, we demand that they be released and provided with appropriate medical, rehabilitative, and educative assistance without incarceration. So again, they're not even interested in this. Like it don't even, like, you're demanding, hey, release this person who broke the law that you wrote and got punished according to the peers that they had. Like it doesn't even make any damn sense. We will struggle for abolition of the death penalty, which has been abolished in the majority of developed nations. In the U.S., the history of the death penalty's application is inextricable from the nation's origin as a slave state. Since emancipation has been a white supremacist tool intended to maintain control of a population perceived as an alien ongoing threat to the social order. Application of the death penalty, which is highly discriminatory on the basis of color and class, violates international human rights laws and must be eliminated. So again, this is the irony right here. They recognize that they are an alien, ongoing threat to the social order. And the reason why they're a threat to the social, or they want to be a threat to the social order, is because they're talking about the social order and how they want to change it. Right? So they are a threat to the social order. And they're an alien social, so it's like, oh, they're perceived as no, you're not, you're perceived as something that you're freaking saying you are. You understand? Now, I'm not necessarily going to say that I see this again. Like I said, this is the irony of the death penalty thing, because you already know that violent criminals, a lot of you talk about you want them dead. You know, one of the stories that, like I said, it just stuck with me, you know, particularly during this quote unquote defund environment, was that sister Toya, right? So Toya was this nice sister. She was you know, like basically she was just some Black Lives Matter protester or speaker or something like that. Nice little lady, but for some reason she just trusted. She's just like a Christian. She had this weird trust of strangers. She gets caught up. Some dude, some black man, you know, talks her up. You know, says, "Oh, I'm a Christian," blah blah. Ends up torturing her in his basement, raping her, all that kind of stuff, and eventually killing her and some other lady. Right? If this dude gets a death penalty, everybody's like, hey, you know, and then of course the police catch him, right? Nobody else catches him. The police catches him. And then everybody's like, yeah, let's get him. Like let's put him in prison. Let's put him under the jail. Let's give him the death penalty, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you can't at once say you want to defund. I mean, not saying you shouldn't defund. I mean, I don't know. I'm not even going to go into that. But you can't necessarily be against the police and all that. And also, I mean, you could be. I'm not going to say, because I'm not going to say I'm for the police or nothing. But what I'm saying is that, I mean, I hope you understand what I'm saying. In the sense of, like some people are scum. You know, like this quote unquote most violent criminals, like that's one of them. You know, capture a black woman, torture, kill her in his basement, rape her. You know? Yeah, you know, like, and he's talking about, oh, we should abolish the death penalty. Nah, you know? Like that dude don't really deserve a second chance. You know? Like it was an awful story to hear, and it's just like I don't even know, like I can't even, you know, I'm not gonna go about, like, I'm not saying that, like again, I don't mind abolishing the death penalty, but I completely understand. I completely understand why people would have it, because like even in Africa, if you did molesting a child or something, they might stone you. Village justice, they might stone you. You know? If you did what this guy did to somebody, they might kill you. Like a real civilized society might just kill you. So I mean, I'm not saying that. Like, I understand abolishing the death penalty. I might, you know, me personally, I might, but I also understand why somebody would have the death penalty. Let's see. Our brother said, I will check out your IQ podcast. I think Golem effect, Flynn effect going. So all effects accurate, IQ. And harsh reality says demands without the power to enact consequences. Nothing more than begging. Exactly. Furthermore, there's zero plans being presented in terms of how to financially and practically implement these plans. Exactly. Like zero. Like, as I said, these black radicals, they're lazy, entitled white nationalists. Because again, you trying to change this white man's nation to be according to the international human rights laws and, you know, the history of, and, you know, you're just a original slave state. You know, like yeah. You know, like he's like, yeah. You know, we will fight for gender equality. Yo, I'm just tired of this. Hold on a second. So we will fight for the gender equality, for women's liberation, and for women's right to be recognized as human rights in all areas of personal, social, economic, and political life. Alright, hold on a second. Yeah, sorry about that. Alright, so yeah, fight for gender equality, for women's liberation, women's rights, blah, blah, blah. Alright, we'll work to create a society and world in which women of African descent, along with their sisters of other colors, so what sisters they got of other colors? Alright, nationalities and backgrounds, shall enjoy non-discriminatory access to the education, training, and occupation of their choices. We will struggle to ensure that all women enjoy equal access to quality health care and full reproductive rights, including the right to determine when and whether they will bear children and the right to a safe, legal abortion. We will fight to end domestic abuse and sexual harassment in the workplace. Like I said, I did have a history inside of this feminist stuff, so I'm not really too mad with this stuff. I'm just going to say, like I said, you in another man's nation. Like, I'm not going to work to advance nothing for this white woman. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I understand why this white man's not going to work nothing to advance the black man or the black woman. You know, an intelligent person's not going to work on behalf of other people. So if you trying to transform America's discrimination, and I'm saying like I understand. Look, if you feel like you stuck in America and you don't want to be discriminated against, I understand that. But it goes back to what Harsh Reality was saying, right? How you gonna enforce that? You know what I mean? Like, how you gonna enforce that? And I mean, but like I said, I understand. Like, I understand if I go to China and they discriminate against my access to education, training, and because again, the way how they see us is an alien, ongoing threat to their social order. You know, if I go to China, right? I gotta behave a certain way for them to give me access to education, training, and occupation. To say that they're not going to, but if I'm from a people who are like, hey, we're gonna take back China, or we're gonna take over China, right? No, they're not gonna be like, oh yeah, you know, here's where we have the nuclear plants. You know, here, you know, like they're not gonna do that. You gotta be particular. You gotta be discriminatory. You gotta be. Now, I'm not encouraging discrimination against our own people, but I completely understand why it's there. Now, of course, you got this LGBT stuff right here. We recognize lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people are full and equal members of society in our community. So we affirm the right of all people to love whom they choose, openly express their sexuality, and to live in the family units that meet their needs. We will fight against homophobia, and we will support anti-homophobic instruction in public schools. Right? We will fight for effective legal protections for the civil rights and civil liberties of lesbians, gays, bisexual, and transgender people. And we demand that violence and murder committed against such people should be prosecuted as hate crimes. We will also fight to end discrimination against the sector in employment, healthcare, social welfare, and other areas. So, like I said, this is not really too complicated. And the only thing I would say is, like, I understand why somebody would demand this if they were this. You know, like if I were one of these, I probably wouldn't want to be discriminated or a target of violence and murder, or or not have civil rights just for a quote-unquote dissexuality, right? I don't see why I would support that in this public schools. The instructions in the public schools, that's a little bit too far, I think. But again, like, I understand why somebody would say this, and I can figure the reason why they even put this in, because the thing with the left is that they get caught up with the white left. So the black left get caught up in the white left, and this is what the white left is pushing. Because the white man don't need to push any of this other stuff. He don't need, like we see in affirmative action, he don't need affirmative action. He already got it. You know what I mean? He don't need to not be discriminated against. Well, the white man don't have to, because he already got it. He don't got to worry about his race being discriminated against, because he don't. So he got to worry about his sexuality or some nonsense like that. Or like basically they just create problems that don't nobody really have. It's like I'll tell you, like I said, one time I was in this black bookstore. Okay. One time in this black bookstore, and white lady comes at the door. Like, we talking about, like, whatever we talking about. I'm not even going to say. But we talking about some black stuff, serious stuff, right? This white lady comes to the door, and she says, hey, can I leave some flyers? We want to neuter the cats in this area, and, we just want to leave some flyers so that people know to neuter their cats, because the cats are reproducing too much. And you're like, get the fuck out. Like, get out. Get out. Like that's your concern? Get out. Like, it's got nothing to do with anything. But it's like when you got so much going for you, like I understand, like when we free in Africa, we're not gonna have the same problems. You know what I mean? Or like even that, like I said, like my grandmother's not talking about police brutality in Jamaica because she don't have that problem. She's talking about like at the time she's talking about the drama between the bus drivers and the taxi drivers. Okay, the drama between the bus drivers and the taxi drivers. That's what's on the mind of people in Jamaica. Well, that's not really on the mind. Well, that's not the only thing. But like what I'm saying is that the more free you get, the less problems you have. So you talking about the pets, the animals, procreating. Like it's not real. It's not a real issue to anybody, but it's an issue to you because you ain't got no real issues. So I understand that. Like this whole LGBT stuff, that's like, this is the last thing. Hey, this might be an issue for somebody. It's not something that, like I said, I don't really advocate it, but I understand if people feel like this is something that is important to them. I don't think you should. I don't think this sexuality is something that black people should have. I feel like that's something that is imposed on us, and advertised to us and educated to us like this, But it is what it is. Like I said, you're in another person's nation. It's like the clothes you wear. Like that's according to you being another person's nature. Like everything you do, a lot of things that you do, like the language we speak is a part of us. So it's like this is all just a part of us being colonized and dominated in this country. That's all you need to get out, because it's like it's going in the way of LGBT. If you ain't peeping. All right, so we support affirmative action. So we will fight to retain and expand affirmative action policies in education, employment, the awarding of government contracts, and all other areas affected by historical and contemporary injustices. Affirmative action will, with goals and timetables, is indispensable for achieving equal opportunity, justice, fairness for the members of all historically oppressed groups. Let me see if anybody had a comment. Let's see. Demands of Harsh Reality says that's the whole people of color nonsense they keep pushing. The LGBT community has more political power than the black community, and ironically, racism exists within their community as well. Yeah, LGBT community. But see, the difference in the LGBT community is that they got money. They got white wealth. So if you look at like the biggest LGBT community, like organization, or even like the biggest whatever, you already know, like if you look at their organization and the budget of their organization, they could do a lot of work with that budget. I don't remember the name of it. I think it might be the Human Rights Commission. I think that's the name of an organization that's LGBT. I can't remember. I don't remember. No, okay, it's not. Why would I memorize that? Let me see. What's the name of I don't want to search that actually. That's gonna be a little too much. But yeah, if you look up some organization, if you look up their organization and look up their budget, okay, they're like, and then you look at the NAACP, and the NAACP is a big black organization. You look at their budget, and it's like tiny. So let me see. NAACP budget. Yeah, so their group budget, their operating budget is about $4 million. You know what I mean? So you're not going to be able to do much with $4 million. As a group. So I'm gonna show y'all. It's probably a little small. I don't know, but like you see what I'm saying? It says the review of the blah blah is $24 million. No, the revenue is $24 million. The revenue is about $24 million. So that's it. Whereas, like these other groups, you're talking $150, $140 million. You know what I mean? There's a big difference. And look at this membership, 500,000. So these LGBT groups, they actually have like well-paid organizations, while we have, like NLZ is the biggest, and then thing. I don't know the name of any of these LGBT groups. I don't want to look it up because I'm a whatever. Oh, actually, Alfred just pointed out how Black Lives Matter raised $10 billion. Yeah, for the Democrats. Anyway, so I'm trying to ask, how would you define the sexuality? Basically, the sexuality is anything that's not, a normal, like anything that's not between an African man and an African woman. So if you were interracial or whatever, that's the sexuality to me. You know what I mean? If you were a cat or a dog, that's the sexuality. You know what I'm saying? Very true. Diversity of thought is more important than these biological factors. We're not the diverse intellectually. There are few channels like this. We are not that diverse. There are a few channels like this, and many are few in number. The fringe of the black community, while the mainstream talks about sports and entertainment. Yeah, Alfred. That's why you got to check out KWZ Radio Harsh Reality Podcast, Queen's Council, Bit of Medicine Podcast. Check them out. Make sure you subscribe to all of them. And if you ain't subscribed to this channel, you already know what to do. All right. And that goes to everybody. All right, let's go. We will fight for reparations. So remember, this is from 1999, I think. And they're talking about fighting for reparations. So reparations is a well-established principle of international law that should be applied in the U.S. Historically, the U.S. has been both the recipient and dispersers of reparations. As the descendants of enslaved Africans, we have the legal and moral right to receive just compensation for the oppression, systematic brutality, and economic exploitation of black people have suffered historically and continue to experience today. Thus, we seek reparations from the U.S. for A, its illegal assault on African people during the slave trade, B, its exploitation of black labor during slavery, and C, its systematic and totalitarian physical, economic, and cultural violence against people of African descent over the last 4 centuries. Yeah, okay, look, like I said, this is, again, unfortunately, like some people say, you know what, Oni, don't even talk about this because, it ain't even got nothing to do with you. And it's like, a lot of this stuff don't got nothing to do with me, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But, like I said, this is just good luck. You know what I mean? White boy is not interested in recompensating you for the assault on their ancestors during the slave trade, because one, they didn't see that as illegal. Like it was legal for them, right? They're not looking for the exploitation of black labor during slavery because they don't see it as exploitation. If you actually look at what the conversation around plantations were during the time of slavery, they were talking about how expensive it was. Because you got to feed people. Sometimes they might die, so you have to buy another person, blah, blah. And, of course, this is a horrible thing, right? But, saying, the exploitation of black labor, of course, that's a modern terminology that almost has nothing to do with the people of today. Particularly because a lot of the people of today were, like a lot of the white people, unfortunately, were immigrants, after this situation. After this, terrible thing that happened. And of course, this right here, they were obviously contemporary of this, though. Systematic and totalitarian physical and economic cultural violence against people of Africa. But again, they don't really care. Like they don't care. It's like this is the same people who slaughtered the indigenous population here to the point where I'm walking on a battlefield or a Indian burial ground. I'm right now standing in a battlefield from once upon a time. I'm now standing on a place, like right where I'm standing and giving this report is where somebody, like 500 years ago, learned how to hunt their first buffalo. Like they stepped through this area where my house is now, right? But it was like a grassland or a forest or something, I don't know. But they stepped through this area to hide behind a tree and hunt, whatever, deer. There used to be deer poop under me. It's not here anymore. They don't care. White folk don't care. You understand? They're trying to run a modern economy, and you're talking about, well, in the last 400 centuries, you did this to me. They're like, I don't care. I'm trying to look forward to tomorrow and building whatever it is I need to build for tomorrow. I'm trying to have a functioning economy. I'm trying to get out of a pandemic or whatever. I'm trying to vaccinate some people that are scared of vaccinations. I'm trying to do me. I'm trying to go over to build a factory in India. I'm trying to do something like that. They're talking about, well, in the last 4 centuries, you did some physical, economic, and cultural violence against people of my ancestors. Like, I don't care. Like, I got nothing to do with right now. And like your concern of reminding me about some history that you've read in some book I allowed you to read don't interest me. It don't interest me. That's all they're gonna say to you, unfortunately. But let's keep going. We will struggle to build multicultural solidarity and alliances among all people of color. Oh, by the way, I gotta say, Bit of Medicine, he got his white voice is like crazy. He always sound like a surfer, right? You're like, dude. Anyway, all right, let's go to 13. We will struggle to build multicultural solidarity. Look at that, multicultural solidarity. Like you said, people of color. Harsh Reality said people of color. And alliances among all people of color. We will fight against white supremacist tactics aimed at dividing people of color. We seek alliance with other people of color to develop unified strategies for achieving multicultural democracy and for overcoming the divisions that exist around such issues as immigration, bilingual education, political representation, and allocation of resources. Like I said, this is the nonsense that you got to do. Like, you either have to sign up for because you're in the left circle, or you're just like some sort of dumbass, you know? But why would you want multicultural democracy? I want self-rule. That's why I want to go to Africa, so that I could be a part of a black ruling nation. You understand? I don't want Latinos having some sort of say over my community. I don't want whites having some sort of say over my community. I don't want Chinese people having some sort of say over my community. I don't mind if black folk have a say over my community, though. You know? And then you talk about such issues as immigration, bilingual education. I don't need bilingual education unless it's Swahili. Okay? Unless it's Swahili or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's some African language. But that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about immigration. How are you talking about immigration? It's not your nation. Why are you talking about immigration for a nation that's not yours? If I'm in Africa, I want to control immigration according to what African people want. That is, if they don't want people from China coming in, I want them to say that. And if they don't want people from America coming in, they could just say that after I come inside. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, I would do my Jamaican accent. I'll be like, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? All right. Political representation, allocation of resources. Again, they're looking at, like, why would I want other people's say on my resources? Would that even make sense? Why would I want Chinese people to be like, we think we should order more ramen noodle? Like, no, I don't think we should order more ramen noodle. I think we should order more fufu with something. You understand? Or like Chaka would say, we should get some more jollof from Jollof. You understand? It's true, dude. We should get some more jollof from Senegal. You understand? All right. 14. We will uphold the right of African American people to self-determination. So this one's all right. I like this one. Formation of the Black Radical Congress in June 1998 was an act of African American self-determination. Don't sound like it. Sound like you was doing some people of color stuff, but you can go on, right? A principle which is codified in the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights. Okay. The African American people are entitled to define the direction, priorities, allies, and goals of our struggle against national and racial oppression. Building the power to exercise these prerogatives is central to our struggle against all the system of oppression confronting our people. Therefore, we will fight for both a national program of liberation and for a mass base of power in the social sectors, institutions, all levels of government, communities, territories of society that affect the lives of our people. So look, here's the thing. Now, if you wrote this, I feel like I want to see if this organization still exists. Hold on a second. I'm about to search Black Radical Congress. I'm about to search Black Radical Congress because I don't even know if this organization. Oh, geez, this is Manny Mannerable? Ugh, I didn't even know that. Alright, Manny Mannerable. Shit. Alright. Let's see. So it was founded in 1998, they say. I don't know if they tell you when it was no longer, when it went deceased. Maybe it's still active. I don't know. Yeah, but this is the thing. Yeah, it might actually still be active. So here's the thing that I want to say about this, right? Like you talking about a national program of liberation, right? So the thing is this, because they define liberation so weakly, of basically being, getting rights under the U.S. government, that's not liberation. That's just you being, like I said, lazy, entitled white nationalists. But all the same, because they defined liberation so weakly, I can see why this government keeps them around. But the reality is that if you're talking about real national liberation, which means being liberated from the nation, which means separating and making your own nation, right? It ain't happening. And see, they already know, because look at this. I said it's 1998, they still around. Y'all ain't never heard of them, have you? You know what I'm saying? You ain't never heard of them. So, all people that heard of them is people reading these leftist stuff, just reading some literature, academics and all that kind of crap, right? If you ain't never heard of it, look at it, 1999, ratified in 1999. They're not worried about you. They're not worried about you because first off, your program is weak, right? And second of all, but if you were serious about fighting for national liberation, they would have shut you up quick. Because they're not interested in losing any land to you. They weren't interested in losing any land to the Native American, right? Who had a right to the land. Why would they be interested in losing land to you? right? And so of course you already see the basic. We support the liberation struggle of all oppressed people. We affirm our solidarity with people of African descent throughout the African diaspora. We support their struggle against imperialism and neocolonialism from without, as well as against governmental corruption, exploitation. Hold on a second. Actually, I'm going to look up these people budget. Black Radical Congress. Let's see what they got. We're going to search the budget. Yeah, they don't even got a budget. Like, I mean, they're not even listing the budget. So, hold on a second. Let me see if I can share y'all the screen. Let's see, Black Radical Congress. Here's the Black Radical Congress. So this is one I looked at. So I was trying to see if it's still in existence. It looks like it still is because there's a link to their website. Hopefully it don't give me no virus or nothing. Look at that shit. I joked about that, but y'all see it in the corner it says it's not a protected site? Oh, you can't see it. Well, it looks like it's not a protected site, not a secure site. They got this. They got like one article from June, whatever. This is like, oh, it's like a whole ass white woman. Look at that. They're not even collecting the fees or nothing. This is like a blog. This is not even. This is all in June 2016. This is straight up a blog. Yeah. All right. Look, the United Nations Declaration of like, come on, this is weak. This is weak. Let's see. Discussing Hurricane Katrina. Are these YouTube videos? Nah, this is web archives. Yeah, they put it for. Well, actually, I can't remember. Marable's dead. Yeah, he's dead. He's the one who wrote crap about Malcolm X, saying Malcolm X was on some other stuff. Uncited, unsourced, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, he's dead. So if probably his organization gone too. But that's what I'm saying. Like you're not even like it's not real. It's just talking. And white people looked into it and said, "Oh, this dude just talking shit." He probably gonna write some dumb shit about Malcolm X. His own, like that's what they know. But anyway, let's see. Neocolonialism from without, as well as against governmental corruption, exploitation, and human rights abuses from within. All right, that actually happens in Africa. So don't act like it don't. Governmental corruption, exploitation, blah blah. We especially support struggles against transnational corporations whose global market practices gravely exploit all workers, abuse workers' rights, and threaten all workers' welfare. We affirm our solidarity with all oppressed people around the world, whatever their color, nation, or religion. None of us is free unless all of us are free. Like some old nonsense. None of us look, you definitely free when you free. You know what I'm saying? You free when you free. Don't believe this. None of us are. I'm gonna say this because the reason why I'm saying this is because, like I said, like I said, my grandmother. She's not dealing with police brutality. She's free from that. Okay? She's free from that. Or let's say I'm inside of a decent neighborhood, right? But the police aren't even the same people in a different neighborhood. You understand? The police are not even the same people in a different neighborhood. They're not even the same people. Like if you station a police officer in a particular like let's say a less affluent neighborhood. And you position that same police officer in an affluent neighborhood. It's just different people altogether. Different person altogether. And necessarily. But we believe that all people everywhere should enjoy the right to self-determination and the right to pursue their dreams unfettered by exploitation and discrimination. It's like, yeah, that's some good words. This is some good words if you're trying to sleep with a sister, a leftist on the first date. Like if you're trying to sleep with, or I should just say sister because you might be trying to sleep with a, like, I mean, if you're a sister and you might be trying to sleep with a man, so I don't know. But like the point is that if you're trying to sleep with a leftist on the first date, just recite this to her. Just instead of saying we, say I. And just say I especially support struggles against transnational corporations. Like it's all just words. It's rhetoric to get to GTD, get the draws. But that's it. That's it. This ain't nothing. If a white boy sees this come across his table, he reads it and he's like, "Oh, these some old coons." That's what he said. That's what he would say. He'd say, "Oh, these are some old coons." But anyway, that's the document. So it's like, are they a bunch of entitled, lazy? Yes, they're entitled, lazy white nationalists. Because they trying to prove this white boy's nation, according to this white boy's United Nations Declaration of Human Rights. He's trying to and they're trying to go and do all this work, like take what the white man worked for, in a sense, right? And I'm not gonna say he worked. I know he ain't really worth, but they're gonna take what this white man got for himself and try to squeeze themselves into it. You know, integrate into his community instead of trying to build their own. You know, now, you know, hopefully y'all got what I said. Let's see if there's any more comments though. This sums it up. You know, right there. Power is the only thing that matters in this world. This power can be solidified by organization, economically, and by simply sheer force. That's it. That's all. Exactly. Harsh reality knows it. Manny Marable is a no from me, dog. I didn't even know it was from him, man. If I knew, you know what I'm saying? The document is globalist propaganda. People should read what the UN troops were up to when they were on a peacekeeping mission in '80. Yo, I'm still mad at this brother. What's his name? Irritated Genie. He showed a video of a Haitian brother. Well, I shouldn't even say brother, but a Haitian dude getting sexually assaulted by a group of UN peacekeepers. And then he kind of zoomed in on how to like he showed a video because they were recording it, and how the Haitian guy was laughing. And he's like, why is the guy laughing? Now I'm just like, why did you show us that video, right? But like, you know, that's why I was like, I'm not even trying to watch that. But like why do you even have that video? You know, why do you even have that video? But yeah, like that's it. You know, brother said Zane into the chat. Anyway, you done hurt somebody's feelings, bro. Refreshed, and you lost a subscriber. Yeah, you already know. Yeah, so all my subscribers, right? Anyway, GTD, you already know. Matter of fact, I'm talking to him about that one. That's Martin. But yeah, all right, family. That was the podcast. If y'all have any other comments, questions, concerns, but yeah, I feel you on that. I didn't even know it was Manny Marable. That was a no for me too. But you know, it's what it is. Like I just kind of knew. Like, this is the thing with the black radicals, black left. They're not talking about real power. They're not talking about nation. They're not talking about black nations. They're not talking about none of that. They're talking about, oh, we want to have a little bit better in the white man's community. It's like, okay, that's fine, but like how are you going to get it? And a lot of them is like this dude, Manny Marable. You're going to print up this thing from 1999. Like, y'all see the activity? Y'all see this? Hold on a second. I'm going to show y'all back. I'm going to show y'all this Wikipedia page again, right? I'm going to show y'all this Wikipedia page. Because, again, there's, like, no budget. You don't see any budget. I tried to look up a budget. I don't see no budget, right? This is them. So this was written in 1999, right? 1998. So then they had 2,000 people came through for that. That's nice, right? That's a lot of people, matter of fact, right? And then for the next 20 years, you don't hear nothing from them. Okay? You don't hear nothing from them. This right here, all this right here, publications, all that's 2001. 2000, so on and so forth. You know, you got the same old, you know, Amiri Baraka, Manny Marable, and you know, let's discuss. Oh, look, is this a white boy? Yeah, white boy. Some white boy talking about Rosa Parks. She was a great woman, and Rosa Parks was. I ain't gonna trip, but you know, whatever. 2005 is right here. This is another one. This is another one. So all this is like the first few years. This is also another resource right here. 2007. This is of course Wikipedia trying to be thing. Local organizing committee. 2006. And then, you know, for the next few years, you don't hear nothing. But then you go to their website. It's a blog from, you know, trying to be active in 2016. With just like a few pages of, you know, blah, blah, blah. And that's it. You know? Like, white boy is not afraid of that. He's like, oh, wait, you got some white boy talking about Rosa Parks? Like, you in 2000 whatever. Yeah, I don't know what year this is. I don't want to look into it. But, or maybe 2007, because I can see on the bottom. But it says maybe 2007. You got some white boy coming in talking about, oh, Rosa Parks from 50 years ago was such a good woman, right? Or you got Amiri Baraka in the building, right? Oh wow, like they already know they don't gotta worry about you, you know? They already know they don't gotta worry about you. So it's like that's really like what this left is, you know? Just the other day I was looking at this. Like I said, there was this, like the way how I found this article was that somebody on like one of these leftists on Twitter, you know, put up an article and then they cited it, and I was like, oh, let me look into this. Like, I read the article, it was a nice article, I guess, but they cited this, you know, the demands of the Black Radical Congress, and I was like, let me go look into this, and I was like, oh, this make a good podcast. But it's like, that's what it is. Like, that's what it is in this world. Like just realize that a lot of these black leftists, a lot of these black radicals, they're nevolutionaries. And they might be able to get 2,000 people. A lot of them white. They might get a lot of people together, which is a good, like, and that's cool. Like, if you can get 2,000 people, that's cool. But like I said, if you can get 2,000 people, get the 2,000 people in Africa then. Just get the 2,000 people, and y'all put that money together. Y'all put some stuff together. Y'all put in some work, and you're gonna get some some things going. You know, you're gonna get some things going. You got 2,000 people with money, right? In Africa, right here. I think KW Don 7 says this: your end game to repatriate to Africa and change the leadership to one that would put the collective interest first. I mean, that's discussed. That's the debatable. But yeah, like if you say collective, like I would say the race interest. You know what I mean? Like I say the race interest. But again, like you also gotta understand your limitations. You know, you have to understand that anything that you do, right? You have to be in like warfare. Again, we talk about warfare, right? Or warfare or battles are fought based off of the location and the resources and the inventory. You know, like I just peeped that these people had 2,000 people. You know, I wouldn't expect to have 2,000 people on my side. Like particularly like for example, when I was doing stuff in America, I didn't have no 2,000 people. You know what I mean? Then you could do a lot more damage with 2,000 people than you could do with the people that I had. Okay? But like again, like if I'm in Africa and 2,000 people are with me, then there's something else I could do. If 5 people are with me, there's something else I could do. If I'm just by myself, there's something else I could do. So everything is based off of like you don't like you want to do something positive for your people, but you also have to understand your limitations. And you have to also understand your resources. Because if you're talking about strategy is about your resources and using your resources accordingly, right? So what are my resources when I'm in Africa? That's the big question. You know, because if I'm walking in there and let's say if I have some good money or whatever, right? I still wouldn't be able to change the leadership. You understand? Now, if you're talking about let's say if I have a political party, or like let's say I get involved with people who are in a political party, and that political party then runs up a good candidate, and that candidate, you know, and of course that political party attracts 50 million votes, then that's an easy way to change the community. Or if you're talking about, or if in another sense, if you have let's say 5,000 people who are armed and dangerous, want to do something, right? Make some noise. That's a whole different sort of situation. So it's all about when you talk about strategy. You know that you know basically what you got to do is you got to position yourself in the place to take advantage of opportunities. You know, like these people did. They had 2,000 people ready to go along with this nonsense, so they did it. You know, you got to know what you have available. That's what strategy, like that's what real strategy is about. It's not about, you know, sitting like if you like 15,000 kilometers away, you know, talking about what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the leadership in Africa. Like that doesn't make no damn sense. You know what I mean? Like how are you going to do that? Like you 50,000 kilometers away, you don't know nobody on the continent. Right, and you're just gonna change the leadership. You never know who the leadership is. You never know. You might show up in Africa. Leadership is like, yo, what's good? You know, y'all do a DAP, and they're like, yo, you want to run this education? You know, like you don't know. Like opportunity, you gotta be there for opportunity, and you gotta take opportunity as you see it. You know, like you gotta take opportunity as you see it. You know, that's how the real world works. So it's like, you know, like that's a nice idea, right? But like the main thing is like, you know, you go. You look for opportunities, or you make opportunities, but that's how the real world works, you know. So it's like for instance like we see with Bit of Medicine, you know, he's doing this curriculum. When he does the curriculum, he don't know, like he might not know right now what country is going to adopt it, or what city or what school is going to adopt it, but he's going to have that curriculum in hand and ready for that opportunity. He's going to position himself for where it comes into where the opportunity comes for him. You know, he can't just say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to implement this curriculum in Gabon." You know, you can't just say that. You know, you know, like because you never know. He might be traveling to Gabon, and everybody says, "Him, get out of here," right? And then you know, he's not going to just keep working on Gabon. He might just say, "Hey, you know, another country might be like, hey, I heard you had a curriculum." You know what I'm saying? So like that's really what it's about. Like I said, there's one of these papers that I think, I don't know if I read it. Well, a long time ago I used to do the warship, and I reviewed the general rules of warfare. So y'all should check out those general rules of warfare on the African Brothers Siblings website. But like basically one of them is that, you know, you got to know how to take advantage of opportunities in war. That's what captains do, you know. But exactly. And you see, Better Medicine says no idea, but once you're ready, you ain't got to get ready, and that's it. You know, like you just got to be ready. So I'm gonna go to Africa ready. That's it. 90% of the leadership on the continent must go. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you gotta. That's what I'm saying. But you gotta be realistic with whether you could do it or not. You know, because again, these are not necessarily pushovers. You know what I mean? Like this sister named Farida, she would show you videos of what's going on in her country. I think Togo maybe, right? And how like you like when you go into jail there, you know, you got like 30 people in one jail cell. You know, with like no food, and like, you know, and you ain't getting no, like your wife can't visit you. You know what I mean? If you know, you see what I'm saying to you, right? So, or like you might be getting tortured. You might get one meal a day. Oh, no, matter of fact, what happens is that your wife got to bring food for you. That's what it was. They don't even feed you in the jail. You got to get fed by your wife or some nonsense like that. You know what I mean? So it's like is that like you understand? There's a lot to it. You know, that these people have power right now, and so how you navigate, how you know, really depends on what's on the ground, or how you navigate on the ground. Because I might just go there, people like, hey, I don't want to do anything with you, and I'm like, that's fine, I got paper, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? You know, or you know, I might go there, and people are like, yo, why don't you run for president? And I'm like, what? Can I? You know what I mean? So you know, you just gotta go for the opportunity as it comes. But anyway, thanks so much, family. You know, thanks for joining. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. You know, hopefully you guys sharing it, liking it, subscribing, and all that stuff. I know I'm losing subscriptions, so make sure I get some new ones. And thanks again. Shem Hotep.